know what else is creepy? That fits the Halloween narrative. Watching a dead corpse running for president.
Oh.
Mr. Biden. Boy, that guy reminds me of that movie Weekend at Bernie's. Two guys trying to party with a dead guy. It was watching Biden talk. I don't even know if he's moving his lips. It's like almost like he's a puppet. Somebody stuck their hand right up his butt and just using his mouth, flapping his gums, like blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he's a clone.
He could be.
Sometimes I feel like he's a clone or he's a robot or something. Because he has to speak within the realm of a certain narrative, and if you say anything to him outside of it, he just starts bugging out.
Yeah.
It looks like he doesn't know what to say about it.
The only thing he says, "Come on, man."
Come on, man. Or he'll call you a weird name, like Pony Soldier.
I don't even know what that means.
Or he'll just call you fat, like that's your name. Like, all right, look here, fat, blah, 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 blah. And then he has those random moments, like, if you're not voting for me, then you're not black.
Man.
He's not going to...
The most racist piece of crap.
But if you look at his histories... We're going to go into politics. We keep talking about Biden. Yeah, Skeletor.
No, that's Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then... No, Nancy Pelosi's the Crypt Keeper.
Okay.
Yeah, that fits... Yeah,
That's
fits,
Nancy.
Yeah. Obviously, Hillary's the devil. Definitely the devil. And of course, Bill Clinton's Frankenstein's monster. But in all seriousness, though, I wanted to indulge into the PC culture as well. Now, do you believe that when the left takes over the government, we could be cited for saying the wrong pronoun? This is the shit, the stuff.
They already passed that in Canada.
Yeah, they passed that in Canada.
I think they called it like Bill C-16 or something like that.
Yeah.
They passed it in Canada, so if you refer to somebody by a pronoun that is not what they identify as, then you can go to jail or pay fines.
I mean, what kind of crap is that, man? Look, we live in a society that has become so PC cultured, all because of leaders in Hollywood and all that stuff.
You know how there's these people where it's like I never spoke to them, so I don't really know what they believe in. I never heard them speak, but you've seen, like, you know what a guy looks like and you know what a woman looks like.
Coffee, man.
But you see this dude who kind of reminds you of like a Paul Bunyan kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's a big guy and he's got this really big beard. However, he's wearing a dress and he's got a lot of eyeshadow.
Oh, man.
So you're like, what are you trying to be?
No, I know. It's like, dude.
It's like,
look.
You?
I do not. I could care less if a guy wants to change into becoming a woman, or a woman wants to change into becoming a man. But I am also a person that believes in biology. You're born as a male, you're born as a female, and that's it. None of this extra 2,000 other genders. Okay? It's male and female. I don't know. Maybe there is a third one. I mean, hermaphrodite.
One of my arguments
besides that
was basically so-and-so identifies as female. Although I do see male because they didn't have all the surgeries or anything like that yet.
Yeah.
And then they're saying, like, well, why won't you date someone like me? It was like, because if I ever decide that I wanted to have a kid, you can't do it because your parts are of the wrong gender. So I need an actual woman.
Man. Now I'm repeating Joe Biden right there. Come on, man.
Yeah, but it's when it comes to how they want to turn, like, make it a legal thing, you got to refer to people by the correct pronoun. Well, too, like, these are people you don't know, although you do know what a woman looks like and you do know what a dude looks like. So, someone you never met before.
Yeah.
And they're just wearing, like, basic stuff. T-shirt and jeans.
Yeah.
And they're not even wearing any makeup. And you're thinking, like, it's a guy. But then, like, sir, if you don't... And they're like, I identify as a woman. And then you're like, oh, sorry. And then if there's a law about it, that's it. You already committed a crime.
I'm like, when? When did you identify? Because to me, you were always a male. You know? Look.
It's like, how are they supposed to know? It's like,
look.
I mean, if you're talking to me and then if you're if you're a trans woman, okay, if you're not wearing or set yourself up in a certain way that really specifically like makes me know, then you have to tell me first, and then I'll be like, okay, ma'am, okay, I will refer to you like Ron.
Yeah.
I will call you Rhonda. I will refer to you by the pronoun you want to be referred to by, because I want to have a conversation and I don't want to be insulting you. But if this turns into a law, then there's way too many ways you can just make a mistake because you just didn't know what someone identified as.
Oh, man.
And then they say it's real. Like, I'll say, like, yeah, but this, like, the way you identify is in your mind, not the body you have. And I've seen dogs that think they're cats, but we know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How about this? If we're going with this whole gender identity crap, I want to be identified as coffee. I drink it every day. I drink it.
You Carmela?
No, I'm straight black coffee.
Okay, he's
that's
black.
Not racist.
He's coffee. He's black.
Mm.
And beautiful.
But
okay.
That sounded weird, bro. No, but look, I want to be identified as this baseball. Now, I want to, if a person somewhere don't identify me as a baseball and they call me sir, I'm going to be very pissed and I'm going to press a lawsuit.
No, because if they called you sir, that suggests a gender. Baseballs don't have genders.
Well, to me it does, because that's what the left narrates on everything. Is that you could be whatever you want to be, however you want to be, regardless of how real it is. And that's the whole concept, man. The left always wants to push the narrative as if however it's going to be, like everything's going to be gravy because we're going to respect whatever you want to be, however you want to be, but we're going to push everybody else to accept it no matter what. That there is no true differences in there. It's kind of like the left believes in one thing and that's it. You know, at least on the right, they kind of open up for suggestions. You know, that's why if you ever watch these videos where people on the right who happen to they actually try to have a dialogue on understanding why the left believes in this and that, right? They don't go around pushing the narrative thinking, no, you have to believe it in this way, and that's it.
Yeah, and then if you don't, shame on you, you're a bigot, all that.
The right doesn't do that.
Yeah, the right, they're actually pretty open-minded as long as you're willing to have the conversation and don't be so thin-skinned.
Meet in the middle, yeah.
Because when right-wing people, when they're talking to each other, and they're trying to figure out, like, you know, there's a lot of people doing this, and I was like, well, you know what? Throughout these certain amount of years, it's more normalized for these things, and maybe that was the window that led to where we are now. Yeah. You know, they try to break it down. They're trying to figure it out. But on the left, it's not that. It's just like,
they're emotionally compromised.
He's a bigot. He's a racist. He's all of that. Even though they never met the guy, never talked to him before, they just must be a bigot.
Hey,
must
you know
be a
what?
racist.
And that's why we need Donald Trump. We need Donald Trump because Donald Trump tells it as it is. They don't try to sugarcoat anything. Well, a lot of people on the right try to. And we know definitely most of the left does. But Donald Trump himself is a man of all men. He's finally somebody that comes out straight up, tells you how it is, whether if it offends you or not, it doesn't matter, because he's telling you straight up. He's not trying to sugarcoat nothing. He's not trying to hide nothing. He tells you how it is, whether you like it or not. You accept it. That's cool. If you don't, hey, that's cool.
He's kind of like a rich version of Al Bundy.
Yeah,
it feels like it.
Yeah, he does. And Al Bundy is a hero.
Like
he's
when he had
hero.
That, I was like, you said women are all of this. He was like,
four
only
touchdowns
Rosie
in one
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Like, that was awesome.
Oh, remember when he said, when Hillary was like, I would do this and that, or something like that, and it was like, oh, no, you'd be in jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, luckily we don't have someone like Trump in charge of legal matters.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd be in jail.
Yes, you'd be in jail.
I'm trying to practice my Donald Trump impersonation.
Yeah, I suck at it, but, you know.
It feels like you got to push your lips out or something and keep your front teeth touching.
Look.
Like, I'm the greatest president that has ever was. Everybody knows it. Look at these hands. They're not little hands. I assure you, they're not little. I have no problem.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Man, let me tell you.
That's the thing. Like, it's fun to make fun of Donald Trump. So when you can, like, call him names or make fun of him because you're trying to get under the skin of a conservative, you're not really getting under our skin because y'all don't seem to ever look at anything we're ever talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, look at how often we make fun of Trump.
Yeah.
You're not even looking at that.
And I love Trump to death, but man, when it comes down to making fun of him, it's funny as hell.
There's so much to work with.
Yes.
Like, the hair, that's suspicious. He's orange.
When he tripped on the ramp going down.
He tripped on the ramp?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
That was awesome.
Like, one of my favorite, like, those GIF animations.
Yes.
One of my favorite ones is Donald Trump, where he gets hit by a football player and he gets slammed into a bus.
What's up, man?
I love that clip.
Look.
But that's the thing. When you're talking to a conservative, you can talk shit about Trump, you can make fun of Trump, and we actually like it.
Yes. Hey, but you know the left, they get so like, crybaby like.
Yeah.
Look, I watched that. Remember I was telling you about the whole Hispanics for Trump? That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It made headline news here locally. It didn't really go national, but it should. But it was awesome. The one of the head guys of the Hispanics for Trump posted a picture on Facebook of him wearing his Trump gear and putting a hat on the head of the Selena statue. Now, in the news media, they interviewed some woman from some older lady from San Antonio who came to visit or whatever, and she was just literally bawling in tears. Like, really? Really? Look, Led Zeppelin is my favorite rock and roll band ever. If somebody put a Trump hat on John Bonham, who passed away many years ago, back in the early 80s, the drummer, and they had a statue of John Bonham, and they put a Trump hat on top of him, I would laugh. I wouldn't be offended. That's the problem with society. They're so freaking offended over anything and everything. It's like they don't know how to just laugh and be happy.
You know, I think I would be, like, I like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
But for his movies, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like his political views, and if he ever knew I existed, he probably would hate me.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was, like, a statue or something, or maybe a wax statue or something like that with Johnny Depp,
yeah.
If someone put an Make America Great hat on top of his head, I probably would be a little irritated, because I know Johnny Depp wouldn't like that. And I'd be like, like, I'll probably do my usual thing. I was like, Like, whenever I see something I don't like.
Yeah.
And then I might even take the hat off if I was there.
But see,
but it's kind of like, I'm not going to be yelling at anybody over it.
Or crying about it.
But it's just that I know Johnny Depp hates Trump.
Yeah.
So, therefore...
Actually, that would be funny then.
So maybe you'd be like laughing, like, hey, look at that hat. And I was like, God damn it. I'm sorry, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Take the hat off.
Oh, man. No, that's... Oh, my
But yeah, that's kind of like where I am. And I guess it confuses people.
Yeah, it's not irritating. It's just...
That's just me being very...
kind of comical
I guess that's
in a
me
way.
being considerate to Johnny Depp, because I think he's cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was the
Minus
pirate
politics.
of the Caribbean or whatever.
Minus the politics.
Yeah.
I still think he's pretty cool.
I mean, look, I like Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is a hardcore Democrat.
Oh, but like what I was just saying. Like
I like his movies.
I just say that I think Johnny Depp's pretty cool, even though he hates Trump. And I know Johnny Depp will probably hate me because I like him.
Yeah.
And then I will, like, defend a statue of Johnny Depp if someone try to put a MAGA hat on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to yell at anybody. I'm just going to want to take the hat off.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm so sorry about that, Johnny Depp. But now, try to switch these roles a little bit. What is an inverse version of this? Basically, let's say if let's say a right-wing celebrity.
Yeah.
If it's a right-wing celebrity and someone spray paints, I don't know, like some anti-cop rhetoric on a statue of him,
then that's not funny.
like,
But even if they spray it, okay, look,
Yeah,
I'll
because
tell
the
you like
reaction
this.
to it was going to be extremely different.
Whether if there's a statue of somebody on the left or on the right, they get painted and like, what do you call it?
Yeah, but how
basically
come
desecrated.
How come if
with
you
some
if
bullcrap
you're a celebrity
statement.
and you're right wing, you just mentioned you like Trump, and everyone just blacklists you.
Well, yeah,
They start calling you all these names and they hate you now.
yeah.
But if I'm like leaning towards the right and I like Trump, and I can still like certain celebrities even if they hate Trump. But it's not the same way the other way around.
Because it's called keeping an open mind. See, that's the whole thing about the left. If you ever watch these videos of like James Klug, I think that's his name, James Klug, where he goes out and he tries to actually have dialogue with these people on the left, these protesters, right? Or the Slavic guy, whatever his name is, he's pretty cool too. Or even Mark Dice. He tries to have conversation with these people, and they never hold a dialogue. They become so emotionally compromised. But that's how the left is. They don't rationalize anything. They believe in a certain thing and they stick to it without opening up for possibilities of other solutions of different situations.
Yeah, which that's something the Ku Klux Klan does. Like they have their beliefs, they're not open-minded.
Yeah.
And it's not okay if you believe in something that's not what they believe. And that's why we all hate the Klan.
Yeah. So Antifas, leftists, those hardcore Democrats, you guys are the Klan. You and Kamala, Biden, Hillary, Bill, Schumer, you guys are the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
You guys are the ones holding the chains.
Look up your history. All the stuff that Democrats led the Klan, and then look at the way y'all are acting right now.
Same
It's
stuff.
identical.
It's very identical. Nancy Pelosi, Crypt Keeper looking. Ooh, she creeps me out.
I think she's one of those other people that malfunction sometimes. It's like Joe Biden, Pelosi, Hillary. It's like everyone, they have these malfunctioning moments.
That's because they're weird, man. They're out there. That's some paranormal. You know what? I'm not going to.
You can't use your phrase anymore.
I know, I can't use my phrase. You know what? That is some paranormal beep. Because it is strange to see. We talked about this before. And this is what I'm talking about. Watch CNN, MSNBC, any of those socialist news networks, and you could tell the difference. And I'm not saying that Fox News is the greatest thing in the world. I'm not. But you could literally sit down and watch. And this is the reason why Fox News is the number one, and for the longest time, news network that has been around. They're happy. They put out the news. They do have their standing opinion shows, that more lean to the right. But if you ever watch them, they're happy. They're laughing. They're having a good time. Sometimes they have some pretty good battles on debates. But they're most of all optimistic and all that stuff. Even when Obama was in office for 8 years, they were still optimistic. They were still hopeful. They were still, enthusiastic. Then you watch the left and you watch people like Don Lemon. What a joke. That guy, oh my gosh. That guy is one of the biggest crybabies. Who's that? Piers Morgan. Oh my gosh. That limey needs to go back to England.
Do you remember when Kim Kardashian met with Donald Trump at the White House because there was someone who was in prison, for like 5 years so far. They had a longer sentence, though, because they had weed on them.
Yeah.
And it was some female inmate. And Kim Kardashian went to the White House to go talk to Donald Trump about, like, hey, is this kind of excessive? Can we release her now?
Yeah.
Because it's just weed. And Donald Trump's like, you know what? You got a point.
Hey, that was a good one.
That was a good one. But Don Lemon, he was on air and he said, like, Kim Kardashian, that is not the place for a woman.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Don
Lemon is the biggest freaking
don't talk
joke.
Donald Trump. That is no place for a woman. And something like that. But how come... But, there's no outrage on the left.
No.
Because Don Lemon is on the left, so there's no outrage.
They're the snobbiest, the most ignorant, the most... Unhappy people.
Oh
You
yeah,
ever
I
watch
also
Rachel
don't like Kim
Maddow?
Kardashian.
Mad Cow.
Yeah, I'm actually very irritated at the sight of Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian got a booty.
But I mean, she's got a booty.
She got a booty.
It's just, I just dislike everything about her.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only reason why they were rich is because their daddy was one of the main attorneys for O.J. Simpson. And they got huge.
And then Kim Kardashian was a makeup artist for celebrities.
Yeah, and then
she got seen on the red carpet, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're beautiful!" And she gathered all the camera attention.
The stepdaddy became a hero by turning himself into a woman. Oh, that's
I think Kim
what the
I think Kim Kardashian was way hotter before she got all the surgeries.
Oh yeah, yeah, the natural look, man.
Yeah,
look,
I don't like booty implants because it looks like the thighs don't belong.
Look, man, I'm telling you like this. I've seen it all the time.
But she had a good booty anyway.
Oh yeah, no, she
Okay,
did.
let me get off now.
Chloe too. Chloe also. But regardless of, man, why are we even discussing the Kardashians? Boy,
there was
the
a
most
point.
worthless. Yeah, I know there was a good point. They are the most worthless freaking family, I guess. But look, my take on society. When Trump took office, it was a lot of hope. And I'm not saying it's been perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. But it's been a lot better. Mm-hmm. All these people that want to go around talking about, hey, Trump deported all these illegal immigrants and stuff like that. Well, newsflash. Obama deported almost twice as much, if not twice as much as Trump has, and yet you don't hear jack squat about it. What have you heard Trump giving up high-level terrorists and Taliban people for a single traitor to the United States, or holding our military or security forces back from having backup to be able to save them in certain situations where they're in gunfire? No. You remember Benghazi? Remember the Fast and Furious program? Remember all that, huh?
I mean, if you're a lefty, maybe you don't know anything about that because you didn't look into it.
They don't look into it. They don't even care because they, like I said before, and I know it sounds like I'm beating on a dead drum, but the thing is that they've already made up their mind. They've been brainwashed. They're gone. It's like a dude that smokes synthetic so much that his brain is mush.
Yeah, like how come the left, done. They have trigger words. There are certain words you can say and it makes them flip out.
That's because
on the right, there's no word to make us flip out. Like, that means you are set up to be controlled.
Exactly.
It's like let's say I went to work and if I had a normal job where I had a bunch of coworkers, and if there is a lefty and I decided for some reason I really, really don't like this guy, all I gotta do is say certain words to him.
Yeah.
And he'll flip out.
Yeah, he will flip out.
And then one of us is going to get fired over this. But I can easily just make him flip out. All I got to do is tell the boss, like, I never said that.
Right.
And then, like, he's just flipping out because he hates that I like Trump.
Well, they want to. Remember I told you about the situation? No, I didn't tell you. I said this on my...
but yeah, it's a weakness if
one
you can be
deal
controlled
where
like that.
The one guy, I spoke about it before. It was the one guy that asked me about if I voted for Bush, and I said, yeah, the first term, but the second term I didn't. You're a Bush lover, blah, blah, you're a Nazi and stuff. You know what, dude? The tables have turned. You are the Nazi. You are the KKK. If you are on the left, you support that racist piece of crap organization. Whether you like it or not, do not deny it. You are the racist fascists. You Antifas and Black Lives Matter, you are all freaking racists, and if you are following them, you are sheep, mere sheep. It is simple as that. Don't get that twisted. It is straight fact. Nonetheless, that is exactly how it goes. These people don't seem to give a crap. There's so many black lives that have been killed by other black lives, black children, dying on the streets every single day in cities like Chicago and Detroit and Philadelphia and New York City and Los Angeles. And what do Black Lives Matter do? They don't do jack squat because they don't care. It does not fit their narrative. That's the way I'm looking at things, and that's the way it really is. Because I'm not the only American that sees the truth. And you know what? There's a lot of black Americans, TK, that see the same thing too. You see these people finally rising up from underneath, they used to be held down. You got people like Anthony Brian Logan, you got the Hodge twins, you got Officer Tatum, you got a lot of people that are coming out and they're speaking the truth about this stuff.
When you get a black dude who says he doesn't like the Democrats, he doesn't trust them, then how come everybody else just turns against him? It's like, you're a problem. Exactly. It's like he's not allowed to think different. He's not allowed to have his own thought.
Exactly.
Whenever they start pretty much shaming him, they didn't ask him why.
No,
they just started shaming him. Well,
it's like that video footage of the guy that I think he was originally from El Salvador. He held a sign in a predominantly white area in front of a grocery store saying Black Lives Matter, right? Mm-hmm. These white people didn't go around and start attacking him.
Right.
They were just trying to educate them on why they believe that's a false narrative.
Wait, remember that short-term thing where there was a protest and they had signs saying it's okay if you're white?
Yeah. Where are those signs?
That's all they said, and they were attacked mercilessly.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
they didn't say white lives matter.
Yeah.
They said it's okay.
It's okay
if you're white. And they got attacked.
But this guy, he changes it up. After having a pretty decent experience with that sign and with those people, then he changes it up and has a sign that says "All Lives Matter" in a predominantly black neighborhood. And guess what? He starts getting attacked, not verbally but physically.
Yeah, they take away his sign. They destroy his sign.
It's ridiculous.
They yell at him, all that.
I mean,
it was he was realizing where the tolerant side is.
Yes.
He didn't find it on the left.
He did not find it on the left. That's and it's not saying that black people are racist or black people or bad people. No, it's not saying that. What it's showing is how clueless some people, regardless of race, color, creed, people can be, because they've already made up in their minds that the right is all racist Klansmen and the left is for the people. They follow their sheep going off a cliff. Okay? I believe that there are great people of all colors, even gender, color, creed, the whole 9 yards, religion.
I've been seeing these news reports lately where it's saying a band of Trump supporters, 100 of them, wanted to kidnap a Democrat governor.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it was on the news everywhere, saying Trump supporters, right wingers, far right, all that. But a flag that one of them was holding was an anarchist flag. And then on his, I want to say Facebook page, if you look at his Facebook page, all of his posts are anti-Trump.
There you go. Proof in the pudding.
So
remember what we talked about with the Tea Party?
I think it is the far right, the actual far right.
Yeah, there is an actual far right, and guess what?
We don't see them very often.
But you know what? Who actually denounced the far right? Denounced the white supremacists? Donald Trump.
Several times now.
Yes, there is actual footage of him speaking in press conferences, of him denouncing David Duke, denouncing the KKK, denouncing the white supremacists, the neo-Nazi fascists.
And what was the name of the bird guy?
Robert C. Byrd. Former Klansman.
So he spent his entire life, and now he's
a Democrat.
So then he was an old man. He's still a white supremacist.
Yeah.
And he was wondering, what's wrong with this Democratic Party? And then they called him up, brought him into some room, talked to him, and 30 minutes later, he comes out, and he's like, I get it now. Do you really think he changed?
Hell no.
What happened in that room? What did they tell him that made this white supremacist like the Democrats all of a sudden?
Him and other Democrats of the old times found a new way to control the minorities. They found a new way because they knew Jim Crow was a failure, and they knew that slavery was never going to come back into play again. So what's another way to be able to hold control over the minority? By stating that they are for the minority, and that they made false promises to the minority communities.
For years.
For years. And you know what's so sad is that a lot of these minority communities that are continuously every single election is ran by the Democrat Party, and they've had a stranglehold actually, if you think about it, a stranglehold on all of these communities for decades.
Yeah,
and the Democrat Party has had success doing that.
Look at where a lot of the black community, they say like the black people are being oppressed by this systemic racism. Well, aren't most of these places where all the black people agree on that Democrat cities?
Yes, gun-free zones. Gun-free zones. Oh, we're going to combat
so you're feeling oppressed
gun violence
in your life.
Gun-free zones?
And your life is being lived in Democrat districts. But you never put those two things together.
You never really, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these people, and I'm not saying all, but a lot of these people, it's like experiencing a person who was once normal completely turn himself retarded by chemically induced retardation.
Yeah.
By smoking synthetic every single day, every single hour, and all of a sudden now his brain is mush.
Yeah. And if you find a dude who, white or black, but let's say like he's conservative though. Let's say a black conservative, just for this argument. You found a black conservative and he says systemic racism, really, I guess maybe, but really if you work hard you can get to where you need. Like my race never really stopped me from getting that last promotion I got. And then you would say that, and then they point fingers at him and saying like, "Well, you don't understand the oppression because I don't know, whatever." But then you look at where that black dude lives. It's like he lives in he lives in a Republican district.
Yes.
So maybe he doesn't understand the way a lot of y'all are being oppressed. But if he lives in a Republican district and he says he doesn't see how it's oppressive,
yes,
that's another thing to consider. If you live in a Democrat district and you feel like you're being oppressed, why aren't you putting these things together?
Why aren't you putting them together? Why? Because your brain is mush. You've
good job not cussing.
Yeah, you've choked on the lie, and you swallowed the blue pill. Well, actually, you overdosed on the blue pill. You overdosed it so much that you're comatose to this whole new world of Democrat fantasy, thinking that everything's going to be handed to you. Everything's going to be fine and dandy. Nothing's ever been fine and dandy in these cities. Nothing's ever been great in these gun-free zones where they think that it was going to be a great idea to make up gun-free zones to combat gun control. What do you call it? Gun violence. Hey, if you've seen Chicago, it's a gun-free zone, and guess what? They've got more gun violence, between the black communities than any other city in the United States. Look at Detroit. It's a filthy mess. Look at Philadelphia. It is a disaster right now.
Oh, yeah, and why do y'all hate the Jews?
That is a good question.
Like, why do y'all hate the Jews so much? Because, they're going through some shit right now, but how often do you see crimes being committed by Jews? Mm-hmm. I'm sure there is. It's just, you never hear about it.
Well, I mean, it's
maybe I don't know. Maybe they're hiding it. But, it doesn't seem to be a big issue. However, just bad things happen to the Jews.
Yeah.
And nobody reports on it.
Nobody reports on that. I mean, you got stupid fake crimes happening. Josie, whatever his name is, Smollett. What's his name? Bubba Wallace or whatever his name is. I remember how ridiculous that was with the whole noose in the door, in the garage door. Oh my gosh, it was a pulley.
It's supposed to.
It's a normal thing.
You can grab it, and then you close the garage door with it, and all of the garage doors had it.
Yes.
All of them.
Dude, seriously? Oh, man.
Yeah, the investigation didn't take long.
I'm just waiting for 2020 is so busy. It's the most busiest year I'd ever seen in my life. And guess what? I'm just waiting for extraterrestrials to come down here.
Yeah, well, if you're a white dude and you got called out by, let's say there was a Black Lives Matter protest going on. It went from protest and it became riot. And then somewhere in it was I saw videos of a black dude who actually there's a white guy getting beat up by a few black dudes, and then one of the black dudes he went out in the middle of the street and looked down the street. He's like, "There's another white motherfucker over there." Okay, I didn't cuss. All right, there's another white over there.
Yeah.
And then 3 of the black dude started running down the street to go get him. It's like they don't even know who he is.
I know.
Like he might have lived there.
Now, hey, I pointed this out before. Look, and let's go with the whole police brutality thing, okay? I understand I've said this before, and I know it's cliche that I keep saying this, but I have to keep saying this. There are some bad apples in some law enforcement, but you're talking about a very small, minute. And unfortunately, the left-wing media, they take it out of proportion and they make it so huge. Now we've gotten into this whole ordeal where it's defund the police and stuff. Well, you know what? Go ahead and try to defund the police and see where you're standing. You want to keep believing in the idea that your communities are going to be safer? That has got to be the biggest laugh I'd ever seen in my life, because that is never going to happen. If you take away the police, it's going to be even more crazier, and the numbers are going to skyrocket beyond belief. And they already are with some of these areas that have defunded the police. I'm talking about $1 billion taken away from the NYPD. In New York City's just getting devastated right now.
Because if we all agree that there's a lot of police need better training than what they've got, because they seem like they're not really doing a good job. If you believe in all of that, if you defund the police, they're going to get less training. So whatever the problems are probably going to get worse.
Really, the only actual police brutality that I remember in my lifetime that actually didn't, I think was pretty shady was back in Rodney King.
That was shady.
That was very shady, and they got acquitted.
Which I agree with the protest against those police.
But to go and smash and burn buildings and then be hypocrites and then freaking burn down the black communities and burn down the black businesses, black-owned businesses.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of black people out of work.
Yeah, it's just going opposite of what you're preaching about.
The Rodney King stuff. It was it's almost just everyone agrees. People on the right, they agree. Rodney King, he was wronged.
Yeah, he was.
And then everyone was in favor of the protest against those police. Mm-hmm. And then when it turned into the LA riots, then everyone was kind of like, okay, y'all,
this is getting ridiculous.
And then everything just swung. All the votes swung Republican because of the riots.
Yep. But guess what? 4 more years of Trump. And then maybe 8 more years of Trump Jr. That'd be great. Let's just keep America great. I've had a lot of coffee, and I'm freaking hyped up.
I can tell.
I am amped. These people are, beyond retarded. And I'm not talking about disrespect against people with actual mental retardation, because those people are cool.
Right.
I'm talking about mentally stupid as hell. These people, they have no sense in their brains. They've got to be I don't know, man. I'm just going to repeat it again. It's like a bunch of people that smoke synthetic and they got really dumb and stupid, and their brains are turned into mush. I don't know. Let's just put it like this, man. Hopefully, we keep going where we're at. Trump has fought the virus. Trump has fought the porn star. Trump has fought and won many battles, and he continues to win. And I'm going to continue to support that, because Trump is not a loser. He's a winner, even though I thought he was going to lose the first election. I went and voted. I voted Trump. And I sat there watching the election thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be the biggest butt kicking in the world. And surprise, surprise. And it was just like a breath of fresh air just came in, a beautiful cold front. Man, I am hot. It is still hot in this October. Oh,
that's South Texas.
Oh, man. Trump 2020.